folks, Argwolf here. We got a swift unboxing thing for you. This is the latest issue of Strategy and Tactics Magazine, issue number 346, with the included game. So before we go through the magazine, as a backdrop, the game is Andrew Jackson's Battles, a Joe Miranda design, math graphics by Joe Youst. Gotta say, I think this is a bit of an uncharacteristic style for Joe. But we actually have a couple different maps here. We have Horseshoe Bend, 1814, and New Orleans, 1815, neither of which are topics I'm particularly familiar with. One-sided map, and the map's nice. It's on nice thick paper. We're all good. It's not going to lay quite flat here. We do get a sheet of counters, as usual for a magazine game of any kind. Vast majority of those have one counter sheet, and this is, in fact, one counter sheet. Now, I take it, just going by dates here, that this is War of 1812 material, and as such, we've got Americans in two different blues. We've got Native Americans, and we've got British, and it does look like we don't use counters in more than one game. We've got, here's the Horseshoe for the U.S., here's U.S. New Orleans units, here's the British New Orleans units, and here is the Native American units for the Horseshoe, which is interesting. Like I said, I don't know anything about these battles. However, there is a brand new magazine that'll tell me all about them. S&T number 346. If I didn't say this is courtesy of Decision Games, so thanks Decision and Doc for sending this my way. So, right off the top, I will go through the ads because I think they're Wargame ads, so I think that's cool. So apparently there's an April deal of the month over at Decision Games for the Der Weltkrieg series. Now, this is a pretty well-regarded World War I operational series, and you can put the entire 5 volumes together if you want to play out the entire thing. That's very ambitious and totally unnecessary in my opinion, and I like big games. But that's a little too big even for me. But it is a good set, and the Eastern Front box in particular is value-packed. Nangwaya is the YouTube channel that has done a great deal of material on Der Weltkrieg. I've mentioned it a number of times, but never done any real content on it. And here's the Fall of Rome S&T Quarterly that's coming up, either coming up or it's out now. This is 346. So here's S&T 340, French and Indian War Battles. These are back issues at this point, plus an S&T Quarterly on that. War of 1812 seems appropriate, given the topic here today. Here's our table of contents, and as usual, we've got a whole bunch of different stuff. The longest-running military history magazine. Pretty sure that's correct. All right, so Battles of Andrew Jackson, the Creek War, and New Orleans by Joe Miranda. And again, I don't know anything about any of this stuff. So we do, however, have what appears to be a sizable article on here. Here's a thing on Davy Crockett. Here's a whole map on the War of 1812, which is pretty cool. I don't know jack about the War of 1812. I've got like 2 games on it, neither of which I've played. It's on the to-do list. So in the middle of the magazine here, we have the rule book. And the way you'll pull this out, I'm actually going to do this on camera because I haven't done that yet. So this is glued into this response/subscription card. So unlike in the old days where you had to like take the staples out, there's a glue that's going to stick this in. And as long as you're careful with it, and I'm trying to be careful, and also trying not to park my enormous melon directly in front of the camera, we can see that they have come out. And then you've got this glue, whatever this stuff is called, I'm going to call it glue, to just peel off and dispose of appropriately. So the rules, usually these are 16 pages, and indeed that is the case here today. And we are talking tactical games. I find it interesting that the color matching is not quite, this is an incredibly trivial complaint. Color matching between the counter sheet and the units in the book are not quite identical, but, you know, I get the gist of it, it's fine. So tactical War of 1812 stuff was not on my bingo card for today, but hey, I like learning history through the avenue of war games. So again, Joe Miranda design. Joe's done a lot of good work over the years, and he is a mainstay of strategy and tactics and World at War magazine specifically. There's some stuff about the weapons used. That's neat. I don't know anything about that. Here's a design article about the game, Battles of Andrew Jackson. To Lose a Battle, the Somme, 1916 by John Walker. Cool topic. If you don't know, by the way, J.R.R. Tolkien was at the Battle of the Somme. Here's a picture of Falkenhayn. Some colorized photos. I assume that it actually says in the thing that it's colorized, but there was actually color photography at the time. It was just rare and expensive. All right, so folio games from Decision, World War I games, Los, The Big Push, Vimy Ridge, Arras Division, or Diversion, I should say, and Meuse Aragon, The Final Offensive. These folio games are, so there's folios and minis, and the folios are in like an 8.5 by 11 folder, and the minis are in a folder that's half that size. These are the folios. And these are really good, low-priced, introductory war games, and they have a ton of them, and they put them on sale from time to time. These are worth a look. I won't say I like every single one of them. That would not be true, but I do think they're a great place to acquire very newbie-friendly war games. Let's put it that way. And inexpensive. All right, The Great Siege of Malta, 1565. Another topic I don't know anything about, and I don't have any games on this, although there are a couple. I don't own any of this. Massage Jonas. I apologize to the author of this article for doing whatever I just did to their name. So here's a 1565 strategic situation. This would be a very interesting article, too, actually. Knights of St. John, which, of course, ran Malta for quite a long time. Till Napoleon threw them out. Mediterranean Empires. This is S&T number 330. I thought this was no longer available, to be honest. This game got a pretty good reception, although I personally don't have it. Soviet and Chinese Wartime Support to North Korea and North Vietnam by Gilberto Villahermosa. That name I probably didn't do too bad on. So this is very interesting. Cold War material. And I guess that's probably something that would have appeared in Modern War Magazine, but Modern War Magazine is no longer afoot. Work in progress. So, Siege of Jerusalem is something that's coming. Plus Operation Holland, Alternative Battle of the Bulge. Siege of Jerusalem will be the issue after that. Korea, the Mobile War, 50 to 51. Be interesting to see a magazine game on that. Nice digestible magazine game. Rêve de Gloire, Europe, 1805 to 1814. I'm pretty excited about that one. And Bosnian War, 1992 to 1995. And then the French and Indian War. Now, I have 1 or 2 games on the French and Indian War. And it's another one of those topics that, I got a couple, but they've never quite made it to the play table. This one might change that. We will see. I need to get a copy of Wilderness War. That reminds me. So here's an article by Joe Miranda about JFC Fuller and Plan 1919. Did you know? Not even going to try to pronounce that, but here's Operation Dingo, The Swamp Fox, Kilroy Was Here, Wartime Arithmetic in Ukraine by Gilberto Villahermosa. Here's War for the Essequibo by Javier Romero Munoz. The Gaza War by Andrew Mulholland. Indian Navy Plans Major Expansion by Patrick Baker. Last Battle of the 100 Years' War, Castellan. I might be mutilating that too. Patrick S. Baker. I feel bad about that. I got a bit of a complex about it. For your information, interesting Power Politics series. So this is Corrupt Bargain, and here's Bleeding Kansas. I'm probably going to pick up Bleeding Kansas. This is a situation that, this is just not something that we learned about in school, let's put it that way. But I have done some reading on the topic. It is a pre-American Civil War conflict that erupts in Kansas over Kansas statehood, slavery, and other things. It is interesting, and both these games, in fact, are pretty well regarded. Spying in the American Revolution by Michael G. Stroud. There was a TV show about this on somewhere called Washington Spies. It was pretty good. So here's, for those who haven't seen it, save the dates, Foxconn Dallas. 8 to 11 November, that is Veterans Day weekend, Dallas Games Marathon in Plano, Texas. Registration opens April 5th. This is the basically official Decision Games convention. It's brand new. This is the first one they're having. So if you're in that general area or are otherwise interested, I don't know that there's like a website anywhere, and there's nothing listed here, but maybe that will emerge on April 5th. Die Hard, the USS Pecos by Vernie Liebel, I think, for your information. D-Day at Saipan, the also very well-regarded series. I personally like Omaha Beach the best, but that's due to topical interest more than anything else. The Battle for Kafji, I don't know. Raymond Bell Jr., Saddam Moves South. And that's going to be an S&T 339. So they've got a pretty aggressive plan going forward. John Burt, Media Reviews for Roman Conquest's Britain by Simon Elliott. The article is by John Burt. The book it's reviewing is by Simon Elliott. Some Ancient Battles, either folios or minis. Belisarius' War and actually Caesar's War are both minis. I have Caesar's War, I think not Belisarius' War. Manila, 1945, Stalingrad of the Pacific. That ought to be interesting. This is 100 issues ago, S&T 246. I have this, Italian Campaign Sicily. This is a series of 4 games that you could put together to kind of model the entire Italian campaign. And consensus is that it's a bit of a mess, but I do have them all, and at some point I'll bust them out and try and see what needs to happen to make those good. And here's an ad, a couple ads in the back. Then S&T Quarterly, Alternative Strategies for World War I. That looks interesting. So that has been Strategy and Tactics number 346, brand new, just in the door today. Thank you, Decision Games, for sending it my way.
Massive thanks to the patrons of Ardwolf's Lair, whose support and encouragement make what we do at Ardwolf's Lair possible. Thank you, patrons. Links to help support the channel are in the video description, so check out the Patreon, the Ko-Fi, and the merch store, where you can get snazzy Ardwolf's Lair t-shirts, drinking vessels, and other cool swag. There is also an affiliate link for Noble Knight Games in the video description. If you buy stuff through that affiliate link, it helps us support the channel with Noble Knight store credit. Thank you, Noble Knight. Until next time, thanks for watching, and happy gaming.